Oh, and you thought you were going to escape me today? No, you are not going to escape me. I have this new deck. It is called the Career and Life Oracle deck, and it actually talks about finances and how to make your living more profitable and enhanced. And I already have like cards that came flowing out. I was gonna do it like where you get to choose a deck, but I guess it choose this instead. Okay, well we're gonna roll with what is in my hand. I'm like, okay. So I was kind of like asking about November. I was like, what's November look like? You know, a lot of people kind of stress out a little bit about this time of year because it's, you know, Christmas and expectations, and we don't want to disappoint. And then it's, you know, the emotional things going on in our life, and we don't want to disappoint. And so we start kind of getting into a lower vibration and we end up disappoint. But chance favors a prepared mind. So let's take a look and see what we're being guided or directed on. All right, so I'm going to flip the camera over. That way you can look as they're going up. And this is our first card. This is the energy coming in. And this is a give and take. And this is about being open to giving and receiving to keep the abundance going. And I laugh and I was like, sometimes people are so ashamed ashamed to accept something, to accept a gift, to accept money, that it really bothers them. And when we deny somebody giving us a gift, we are blocking their abundance. So it's really important that we can learn to be comfortable with receiving gifts, because that is how we have the law of exchange, and that is that is how we get everything moving in a flow, in a positive flow. Because if one person drops that ball, we can have a whole clog of that flow of energy. And when I'm looking at the perspective card, and I'm going to say this is what I'm getting. It's really important for us to stop looking at how we are affected, especially when we're denying another person's abundance. However, it's really important to look at the greater picture and how things come together. How things come together. One of the little memes that kind of like came up in my head really quick was the one that talks about buying from small business owners, or uh, buying from your local, like your local meat market or your local bakery that's not a chain owned, because that $50 that they receives is probably paying for their daughter's ballet lessons or their son's soccer uniforms, whatever, and that's going back into the community. And so when we go and spend or invest in something like big chain stores, that's going to somebody someplace else that we really don't get to be a part of that synergy or experience that flow of abundance with them. And that's what this is talking about in here. And I'm going to laugh. And it's like you got to keep things simple and keep things where you notice the synergy, where you see that give and take. Because if you are spending or vesting your time and money into something that you really don't see because it's going someplace else, you're not going to feel a lot of fulfillment in what you're doing. So, in your work, in the way you spend money, in the way you make money, and also time is money. So, we're also talking about time, that you want to make sure that you're building connections, connections or routes that you can feasibly enjoy or feasibly see the result of of the fruits of your labor. You haven't been seeing the results. All right, so this is honest work upside down, journey right side up, and into the flow upside down. And this is about not liking what you do, that it doesn't feel authentic and fulfill your needs. It does not feel authentic and fulfill your needs. You don't like your work, you don't like what you do, and you don't like the way it makes you feel. And so the challenge here is stating that it is perfect timing. It is perfect timing for you to venture and find something that does bring you joy. That it is the perfect time to venture and find something that does bring you joy. Whew, that's kind of heavy. That's some heavy information to think about. I'm like, so now is the time for you to start thinking about what you do want, where you do want to be successful, and how you want to be successful. In the flow, what I'm getting is like a square peg in a round circle. And you're feeling that in the square peg in the round circle. But I'm going to say, but you're not quite ready in your conscious or your ego self to move forward. That's like, that the water is like boiling hot, and you'll probably boil some, like get burned a little bit. But you're not quite ready. And I'm getting the word to jump ship from that chaotic mess. It's a chaotic mess. What does occur out of this, even though you don't feel like you're really ready, is that where you are focusing, what you focus on is what you get. And so money matters, and it does. This is about you being open to look inside your money matters and see where you are financially. And start to reset goals of where you want to be financially. When I'm looking at this rewards and then people skills, this is some of the things that you need to be focusing on here. And I'm going to kind of keep this as real as I am. Is that if you have things that aren't really making money, but will make money on the short term, but on the long term, they'll depreciate. And this can be a wide variety of things, from relationships, because you're investing time, okay? Relationships, projects, as well as your work or how you invest money. So if you were looking at something and you're wondering if it's going to have a long-term, come back up, I'm getting the probability is no, and that it is important for you to identify those things that are at a point to pay off. Because holding on to them isn't going to be where you want to be. And it is about embracing the new that's coming in. You want to keep things growing. Not all plants are perennial. Some are annual. And you may really love that plant. Oh my God, that plant is so beautiful. But that plant isn't annual. And once it dies, it dies. It does not come back. Stop investing big bucks in annuals and think about perennials that come back year after year after year. Okay, that's the best way to put this card where I'm looking at this rewards, because you've got rewards that are coming in, but there are things that you need to go ahead and let die out for them to come in. So that's what we're getting with this Money Matters rewards and people skills. And I like this people skills here is that last card on that row, because it's talking about you networking and really starting to pay attention to how networks work and connecting us with the right people at the right place at the right time. And that's a really important factor when you think about people that, you know, when they talk about how did you get that amazing position. I was at the right place at the right time and I met the right people. You know, I knew a guy, his name was Jose, and he wanted to move up in his industry of IT. And that was his vibration. He said, I'm open to receive. I want to network. I want to meet people. And he placed himself, you know, in that position, that mind frame. Well, he ends up being in an airport with a layover. And in that layover, he ends up sitting next to somebody that was like one of his gurus that ended, you know, that he had watched like 1,000 videos on. And then they connected him with other people and he started achieving his goals within like a couple of months. That's what that card, you know, that whole row is talking about. You got to let go of some of those things that aren't making you money or time or joy or peace, and let them go so that you can bring in that abundance and those connections that will bring you the peace, the success that you're looking for. Our last part of this is kind of interesting. The protection card is upside down, and this is talking about you almost walking on a tightrope, and you can't see the bottom. You can't see how far down it is when you're walking on that tightrope, because you're walking in the dark. And that's where this flexibility is. And I'm laughing because it's like sometimes you just gotta trust what you can't see. Sometimes you just have to trust what you can't see. Trust what you don't know. But the probability is when the light is flipped on, there's only an inch or two between you or the tightrope and the floor. So you're not really falling into a deep abyss that you can't see yourself outside of. Now, what I'm laughing at, and I'm laughing with and not at, is this very last card. And it's this outside forces. And then on this card it says unknown figures are driving the situation, and you may not be able to control the outcome. The cycle will shift soon, and you will be okay. And it's like riding in a Tesla, and the car takes over. And I'm like, and of course you're going to be a little freaked out because you know, you're not driving the car technically. And I was like, but the intent of the Tesla, the intent of that car is for that car to be in free flow, but pointed and maneuvering in the appropriate direction. Sometimes we have to roll with the free flow and trust the original intent of the device that's getting us there. So, interesting perspective. Probably a good idea to dump the things that no longer bring or will no longer bring what you need to the table. So peace, love, and harmony. I hope you enjoyed this reading. We were using the Career and Life Oracle deck. I'm not sure who it's by, but let's take a look. And that's what it looks like. One of those Amazon, really cool little deals. Have a great day.